Tell us about this picture.
Well, that one was, I believe, before I was born, just before I was born. This was already, I think, 1937, 1936, somewhere in there. I think both he and my mom were already working up at Haleakalā. It was just after that time, that the short time I know that we went back to Wailuanui, and then after that we then moved to Honolulu.
And we have here another photo of his work at Haleakalā.
Correct, Haleakalā. And from what I gather from my dad at that time, quite a few of his friends, there were quite a few of them up there, not only this group, but there were crews, different crews working. They were the ones that always up at the observatory, up at the highest point. And like you say, at that time, the silver salt plant had overtaken most of the areas. He said you couldn't walk any place without stepping on the silver salt plant.
Oh, really?
He said it just covered, and this was from there where they were, all the way down to the Kalahaku Overlook, which was the last stretch. He said, but from there on down, it was just massive, just silver salt. And I can remember because when I first started driving tourists, we had to take care knives and cut the silver salt to get through some of the pathways.
Oh, really?
And they actually didn't bother us on that. And this was in 1960 now, you know. And I know we could see silver salt just about any place you looked up there. I haven't been there for a while, but I know at that one time there was, the first time I started driving tours, silver salt was quite a few, but my dad said every place you looked, the plant was just there, beautiful. He said it was just something you couldn't imagine. And they had quite a few pictures of them, both, you know, young stage as well as the developed with the flowers and everything. And he told me when those flowers used to bloom, some of them, today maybe it's up at 5, maybe 6 feet. He said back in those days, he wouldn't be surprised that some of them 8 and 10 feet. They were massive, he said.
Wow.
I don't know if because it was just growing wild, and, you know, or just the elevation. The elevation had something to do with it, or the soil. And yet a lot of people would think that the soil doesn't look like you can grow anything, but that plant existed there from way then, you know.